So I've got about an hour to film this video, so we'll see how we get on. I'll try and film as much as I can and sort of get through the talking bits and try and make it not too long. Starting shot. Hey. So, yeah. I'm going to do a quick run through of what's in my camera bag today. Yeah, so I put a post up on Instagram early on today asking if you guys wanted to see a video about what's in my camera bag, just me running through what kit I have and why I have it really. Generally, what I use, and then a bit about them, maybe some recommendations, stuff that you could get. So there's a link to all my kit down in the description, all my main kits, so if you check that out, you'll be able to find them on Amazon or wherever I bought them from. Yeah, so if there's any kit that I go through today that isn't in the description, just let me know in the comments and I'll reply back to you and let you know. In a sort of a fairly new to the industry filmmaker, I only have the one camera, so I can't film with one camera and show you the other camera and vice versa. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to film some stuff possibly on my phone. I don't know if that's risky or not, but we'll see how it goes. That. So starting off with, I have got a Neewer. I'll link it because I don't actually know the name of it, but the company that makes them are called Neewer. It's pretty big, as you can see. It's probably about, I don't actually know how big it is, like spec wise. The specs are on Amazon or wherever, so you can have a look. I think it was about £100. So pretty decent camera bag. It's got wheels, which is pretty cool, and if I unzip this, it's got a handle as well, so whenever you're in airports or somewhere that has smooth, so when you're in somewhere that has smooth surfaces, you can use this. Yeah, so pretty handy that, if you could do a bit of traveling, moving it about, especially if you've got a lot of kit in it as well, it does get quite heavy. So that's quite a nice feature. Let's try and push this back in. Nope. There we go. Out. Nope, we're stuck again. Bear with me. Or just press that. Moving on. In the top bit is where I'll keep all the like little bits and bobs. So first of all, we've got these nice little pockets here which just keep a little bit. So lens cloths, jam those back into there. What have we got in here? Spare batteries. So my microphone, my flash and stuff that I use batteries. So I've got spare batteries. There's AA ones there. I think I might have some AAA ones as well. Yeah, so in this third one, spare batteries. Always useful to have around just in case obviously you're on a shoot and stuff runs out and there's nowhere nearby to get batteries from. So it's always useful to have. If you do have anything that isn't rechargeable and has batteries, bring some spares just in case. Moving on, got very important thing, black electrician's tape, whatever you want to call it. Very useful for tying up wires. Anything that's loosely hanging and you want to sort of tape down, this comes in handy way too often really. So I have a couple in there. In this other smaller section here, I've got batteries. They're not too bad actually, the batteries in the Sony, but because they're quite small, it's not too bad to carry them around as well. So I think I have 5 batteries altogether, which tends to last me like a whole day shoot is perfectly fine, like as long as I've got them all charged up. Like I said, 4 or 5 is like a safe amount. You probably could get away with 3, but I like to have 5 just in case. Camera strap. I only use this really for when I'm doing photography and stuff like that. Put that back in there. These top pouches here, I've got my Rode video mic. So that's this, the Rode Lav mic. Plug straight into your phone. I have a visitor. Hello. Hello. Are you gonna let me film? You gonna let me film? Yeah? So, carrying on with the video. Basically, it's plugged straight into your phone. 40 quid or something like that. I've used this like pretty much on all of my shoots, just for like any interviews, any sort of like extra sounds that I need, just bits like that. Even just having it in the room for Atmos, stuff like that, it's such a good thing to have. So I definitely recommend getting one of these. If you've got an iPhone 7 or later, you have to get that silly little adapter thing just to plug it in, which is a bit of a pain, but it's just one of those things that Apple does. They are supposed to be called dead cats, but they're not actually, because that's just like a little furry fluffy ball thing, I guess. So these are really useful. Obviously if you're working with any like wind and stuff like that, it kind of just helps reduce that a bit. When I was filming my video with Johnny, I'll try link it up in the cards. I don't actually know if I can do that. I'll have to do some research and see if I can do that, but if I can, it will be there up here. Basically, I wanted some sounds of Johnny riding his bike, so all I did was attach the lav mic to his bike, got Johnny to put the phone in his pocket as he was riding down, and just got audio all the way. It's really good, clean audio. If you do anything like that, I definitely recommend getting one of these because it's so cheap for what it is, really. So yeah, definitely recommend one of those. Shut that. So going to the main section bag. Gorilla tripod thing. I've only recently just got this. I think I picked this up on Amazon for about 30 quid. extra lens caps just in case, because they seem to go missing every time I go on a shoot, so spare lens caps are always useful. Battery charger, they're not that expensive either really. You probably pick one up for like 30 quid, so definitely useful to have one of these as well. Lens filters, so 4 lens filters for my drone when shooting obviously in really bright conditions with your drone. Just makes a big difference. But yeah, so lens filters for drone, then UV neutral density filter. This one's from a company called Gobe. I think every time you buy one of their lens filters or one of their products, they plant like 3 trees or something like that, so pretty good incentive to go with that. And they're a little bit more pricey than the cheap ones, but it's worth it really. So I mean, I mainly use that for when I'm shooting action stuff. Just stops anything like getting onto the lens. I'd rather damage a 15 quid lens filter than a £600 lens. And finally, I have a variable lens filter, which I use mainly for photography. You'll see, makes everything pretty dark. If you're into photography and stuff like that, definitely recommend getting one of these. I feel like you'd already have one already if you were, but anyway, yeah. So Mavic Pro, I've had this now for probably 3 or 4 months, maybe a bit longer. I've shot a few things where like I'll fly the drone behind me and shoot the landscape in front. Yeah, just really good quality. Again, buying spare batteries is really important, so I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 batteries. There's one in the drone as well, I can count, and that's about 30 minutes. But when you got to consider getting the drone up and then getting into position, getting the right shot, doing the same shot a few times, and then getting the drone back, because that's always important, and you probably get about 15 minutes shooting time. Definitely recommend getting a couple of batteries just in case, especially for the Mavic Pro or the Mavic Air. Obviously that has the control to come with it. Battery on that's pretty good as well, rarely have to charge it. Obviously I don't do photography a lot, so I don't invest in really expensive flashes and stuff like that. It just wouldn't be worth it for me really. KF Concept. I've had this for a couple of years now. If you are considering getting into photography, especially like commercial stuff for like portraits and stuff like that, definitely recommend getting the flash. So I recently made a change. I swapped out my Ronin M, which is the two-handed 3-axis gimbal that DJI does, for the Ronin S, simply because of the size really. It was getting to the point where my camera bag was getting pretty full. Having that Ronin M in there, it just took up about 50% of my camera bag. The stand itself took up a lot of room, so obviously the stand now is literally this. You pull this out and that fits on there like that, and it doubles up as a handle as well, which is pretty cool. Quick release for it. So in this bit here, it's basically, you're supposed to put your laptop in or whatever, but because of the shape of the Ronin S, it fits in here. So that is the gimbal, which fits on top of said handle. It's all set up anyway, so all I have to do is literally put the camera on, switch it on, and it's pretty much good to go. Along with the S, you get a little pouch, a little DJI pouch. That's pretty cool, having a little pouch just to keep everything in. Just such a cool little feature. Open it up, you got your cables. Shout out to DJI for making those cool little cases. To add on from my flashes and stuff like that, I have a transmitter and receiver. I mean, for like what it's worth as well, these again are like 20 quid. If you are considering buying a flash, I'd definitely consider buying some of these as well. So this is a 70-200 f4. This is a Sony one, so not a Sigma or a Tamron or whatever else. So I wanted to buy a native lens just because I knew the autofocus would be quickest. I got this second hand, and I mean, to be fair, it's in pretty good nick, so that's one thing I've definitely learned is it doesn't matter about buying stuff second hand. If you're buying it off a company, they're usually pretty good. If they say there's nothing up with it and it might have a few scuffs, then I definitely recommend getting it because it'll save you a fortune. I probably got this like half price compared to it brand new. So if you're interested in wildlife photography and I guess filmmaking as well, that's definitely a cool investment. In terms of what I edit on, so this is the MacBook Pro, 256GB solid state drive. The only thing I would say is if you're considering getting one of these is it has one headphone jack and 2 lightning ports there, and that's it. Like, so I have extra adapters for it basically. So this one is a USB one. One thing to consider when you're looking at one of these is you're gonna have to buy adapters for it as well, because most of the time you'll have a USB hard drive or you want to plug SD cards and stuff like that, and you won't be able to because of the lightning ports. I've got a USB one and I have an SD card one as well, which takes SD and micro SD. Yeah, even when I'm editing and stuff like that, it'll last quite a while. I don't have to charge it after as well, so they are good. That's everything that I'm not using to film this video. What the inside of the bag looks like, just try and keep it fairly organized. It just makes things easier in a shoot. You're not having to search around for stuff. My little ghetto lighting setup. So yeah, so this is my diffuser diffuser that I use for my flash. At the moment it has a little LED light in it, which is basically just so I can light my face a bit more. So basically this fits around my flash, and I use that for shoots as well. So when I'm lighting subjects, just makes the light less harsh and you get much nicer photos. So definitely recommend get one of those as well. Also guys, I just forgot, little SD pouch as well. So I keep all my SD cards, USBs, stuff like that in here. Just keeps it all in one place. That goes in the top section of my camera bag. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything really. Any sort of small bits, so any accessories and stuff like that, I usually pick them up on Amazon and stuff like that, but any main kit, so lenses, drones, etc. There's a company called MPB which basically do a trade-in. So you can either trade in for cash, or you can trade in for in-store credit, and then you can buy stuff from there. I've used those for most of the stuff I've bought, and they tend to give a pretty good deal as well, so definitely go and check that website out. If you're interested in buying any kit and you need a hand choosing a specific thing, or you need some advice on what you think is going to work best for you, again, just let me know. I have got some video ideas in the works at the moment, so I will try and get those done as soon as possible, but if you guys got any recommendations, I'm sure they'll be pretty good. Apart from that guys, cheers for watching, I'll see you next one. So yeah, just to run through what my camera setup is, it's a Sony a7R II with the 24-70mm Sony Zeiss lens, that's f4. On top I'm shooting with the Rode VideoMic Pro, and yes, I just forgot to mention that in the video, so just thought I'd add that in. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you next one.